Hey! In this video, I'm going to walk you through the code that I use to auto-compound my DINO tokens from the Yield Farm into the Jurassic Pool so that I can increase my earnings. If you haven't seen my video where I compare two strategies, my auto-compounding bot versus Beefy Finance, check this video out, open it in a new tab so you can rush it right after this one. And don't worry, this video is beginner friendly, I think. Let me know in the comments if you can follow along. And I also have a link to my GitHub repo below. So stick through the end so you can learn how you can build this bot yourself and even extend this code so you can make it do even more fancy things for you. All right, let's go. So this is Dinoswap Exchange, and what my code does is that it automatically takes any dino that I've earned from the dino farm and put it into the Jurassic Pool so I can get this 152% APR. So as you can see, I already have some tokens staked, and I'm going to show you how my code works. But before I do so, I'd like to first show you how I came about, getting the information required to do the code. So I know what I needed to do was trigger excavate so I can withdraw my dino tokens, as well as when I withdraw those dino tokens, I need to deposit it into the dino pool. So how I go about doing that is first I need to get the actual smart contract. So normally they will give you information. So I started here. This contract, however, was the smart contract for the Sushi LP token, which is not what I need. So in order to see the smart contract required, I just interacted with it by excavating, and I was able to see the smart contract address it interacted with. So I'm going to show you a copy of that smart contract, which is in my repository. So this is a farm. All right, so now I'll walk you through the code. So if you go onto my GitHub, I give you some basic instructions like, disclaimers, a description. So this is not production ready code, so please run this at your own risk. So I do expect that you have Node installed on your machine. If not, you can simply run this command in your terminal. I do expect that you also have a DINO USDC LP already staked into Dinoswap, for example here. And I do also assume that you have Matic tokens in your account to fund the gas fees. So all you need to do is download this repository, navigate to the folder, run npm install so you can get the node modules required to be installed. And this step is very important. You need to be extra careful with this. There's a file called env-sample. You need to copy this file and make another version of it, and you rename that file to be .env. And you need to fill this with the correct information. For example, the RPC URL is the RPC URL to connect to the Polygon network, and the private key will be your private key. So as a result, if you are planning to use this repository and upload it to your own personal repository, then what you need to do is make sure that that .env file is in the git ignore file, so that it's not actually uploaded. That's very important. Now at this point, you would be ready to run this code, and it will automatically start auto-compounding your DINO tokens from the Yield Farm into the Jurassic Pool, simply by running node index in your terminal. All right, so let's go through the code. So it's just one file, index.js, and you simply have to interact with the Web3 library, which allows you to use your wallet to interact with the Polygon network. And in this code, I have a reference to the DINO farm via the contract address, as well as the DINO pool via the contract address. So I create an instance of this farm on the pool using the contract ABI, which is the programming interface. So I have one for the DINO farm and then one for the DINO pool. The farm ID, this is the ID of this particular farm. I figured out the ID was 10 from looking at the transactions that I had done previously. So there's essentially just two functions, and I start off by checking compounding opportunities, and then I continuously check again for every 4 minutes. So what this method does, it goes into the DINO farm contract and it looks at any pending DINO. This 10 should not have been here. This should not, I hard coded it at first, but it should be this farm ID is 10. So I guess by the time you see this video, I will update this and fix it, the wallet address. And I just try to figure out what the gas price would be. The gas limit, I got it from the transaction, because when I tried to estimate the gas limit, it wasn't working out too well. And then I say if the pending DINO is more than a transaction cost, then we are ready to compound. And I call the method called compounding DINO. And this method, I tell it the amount of DINO that I will be compounding. I also tell it which pool I'm going to be putting the DINO into. And this is a hint, because if you would like to extend this and potentially, you know, use another pool, you can. And then that's it. So then when it calls the compound method, we are here, we will start compounding. So first it would withdraw the DINO tokens using the farm ID user here. And you have to put 0 when you're withdrawing, because that's just how it works. So you withdraw the DINO tokens, because I guess you only ever withdraw all of the tokens, so there's no number for you to specify. Like for example, if you go here and you do excavate, you don't say how many you would like to withdraw. So I'm just going to reject that. Yeah. And, you know, if it completes, then I can continue to the other section, which says, okay, now I'd like to deposit that DINO into the pool. So it will use a pool contract that you passed over. In my case, it's a DINO pool. So I'm going to be depositing into this pool. And once that method is done, you know, bada bing, bada boom, you have now auto compounded your DINO tokens into the Jurassic Pool. This explanation probably is a bit botchy, but it's very late at night right now, so I'm just trying to be very quick, but hopefully you understand. Oh, and by the way, this is an example of my code running. It's been running for a little bit. I think I kind of stopped it and started recently. So this is in the folder where I have all the files. So if I just do node index, it just runs automatically, and I just leave it running on my laptop. I could easily install this on a server, but I don't plan to run this for very long, so I've just kept it on my laptop for now. So the way how I went about figuring out which methods I should use is I looked at the smart contract address, and when you look at the smart contract address on Polygon Scan, you can go in this section and you can read the contract and you can see the methods available. So for example, I believe this is the contract for the farm. No, this one. This is a contract for the farm. And you can see there was one called pending DINO. So pending DINO is where I give it the farm ID, which is 10, and I give it my address, and you can query it. So you can do this right now without code, and you can see how many DINO tokens that you have available to be withdrawn. And another method you can invoke is where I withdraw the DINO tokens in the write contract section. It's in the write contract section because you're updating the state of the blockchain. So let's see. Bada bing, bada boom, withdraw. So those are the two methods I use, and in my code, I'll just show you. So here I say DINO farm contract of methods dot pending DINO, and then I also withdraw methods that deposit. Oh, I use deposit because I think when I looked at the smart contract, that's what they did. So, and then the next contract is the pool. So again, with the pool contract, I just need to deposit the DINO, and they have here where they say deposit and you say the amount. So if you wanted to do this for the UST pool instead, or the ARPA pool, if you go in the details section, it shows you the pool contract, and I reckon the methods are going to be exactly the same. So if you go into write contract, there's a method called deposit. So if you wanted to extend this code, all you had to do is you'd have to supply the pool contract address, the pool contract ABI. The ABI, you get it in this section here. You go into code, contract ABI, you could just copy all this. Yeah, so once you have the pool contract address and the pool contract ABI, you create an instance of that object, or that contract object. And when you are ready to do your compounding here, you can simply say which contract you would like to use for the compounding. So that is the code. I hope that is easy enough to understand. I think I kind of, I was a bit quick with explaining it, but hopefully you understand. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. If you'd like to hear more about any strategies like this that I use, let me know. I talk about blockchain and crypto on my page. I'm a developer myself, but I also like exploring different topics, like understanding the blockchain technology, coding sometimes, how to make money on the blockchain, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining. Leave your comments below and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.